It's time for you to see my final Game Week 9 team selection. We are starting again from the goalkeeper's position. I'm going to talk about, first of all, my current team, and then I will mention some of the transfer plans that I may have for the future. We'll have to see. In goal, I'm opting for Flecken for now. He is flagged in the FPL game right now, but I believe that his illness is already cured and he will be playing in Game Week 9 against Burnley. I'm opting for him instead of Turner. This may be a mistake. I'll have to consider it up until the end. We'll see the press conferences before the Game Week 9 deadline and we will make a decision on a deadline stream most probably. Don't forget to tune in for that. I'm 95% sure that I'll be doing a deadline stream. I'll be getting in touch with the guys that are following and joining the stream. We'll talk about the teams. If someone is on a wild card, we'll have a discussion. So stay tuned for the deadline stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and turn on the notifications so you can be notified when my stream is starting. Let's focus now on the team. As I already mentioned, Flecken is keeping his place. I believe that with Ben Mee coming back to the Brentford side, they will become a way better defense than they were in the past couple of game weeks, and they need a win. And what better way to start up against Burnley? I know Burnley need wins as well, but Brentford in my opinion are just a better side. Turner against Wootton, it's another obvious choice of a goalkeeper. Maybe I will start him, and if he is substituted or replaced by the new Greek guy, Flecken will come in for him. I'm not worried if some of the guys here are not playing, because I have the other one to step in at Game Week 9, which is good for both of them. Home fixture against newly promoted sides, easier games on a paper. I believe that a clean sheet is due. I will try to nail it, but most probably I will start with Flecken. If there are any rumors that he hasn't trained the whole duration or he's just getting up back to speed, I'll opt for Turner because he had a 2-week break and he was preparing with the whole squad for the whole time. So yeah, I will be keeping a close monitor for that. I will decide it on the deadline stream, but for now, let's wrap up the goalkeeper's position and move swiftly into defense. Jumping into defense, as you can see, I have a flagged player here as well. He is not playing for sure. It's Estupiñán against Manchester City. Estupiñán is rumored to be injured up until November. I don't mind that because I have a pretty good coverage right now for him, but after he returns from the injury, I believe that he's going to be a very integral part of my side and he will be most wanted player to be returned after a lot of players transferred him out on the wildcards that they did. I know that Trippier is a very popular replacement of Estupiñán, but if you own Trippier, I don't believe that you are going to sell Trippier and you won't have the money for Estupiñán, at least in my opinion. And that will be a problem because Brighton fixtures turn for the better. The game against City away was a no-go for sure for me because it's City away, City are after 2 losses. I believe that Haaland will start scoring once again on his regular speed, and Brighton will be the team to suffer from that for sure, the first team to do so. So Estupiñán was going to be on my bench no matter what. The other 3 players are having home fixtures. Now let's discuss them. Fabian Schär, he is my coverage for the Newcastle defense. I know he is not as good as Trippier or as cheap as Botman or Burn, but he does the job pretty well. Botman has been injured for several game weeks, so he hasn't returned any points, and Schär is basically up to speed with his points, so I did not take a lot of damage there when owning Schär instead of Botman. Dan Burn is doing pretty alright, but I believe a rotation is coming. Maybe Livramento or Lewis Hall will come into the side at one point, but I don't see anyone replacing Schär. Lacazette is just not up to par, and when Botman returns, the starting partnership will return to their usual speed and they will keep getting clean sheet after clean sheet. I believe this will start with the fixture against Crystal Palace. I am waiting for a goal from Schär because he scored already in the Champions League. I believe it's time for him to score in the Prem. Most probably Trippier will get the assist, but if Schär scores, I will be pretty delighted. If he doesn't, getting a clean sheet and maybe 1 or 2 bonus points will be pretty alright for me as well. And the Crystal Palace fixture, as already mentioned, is the perfect start for that. I want to own Trippier, but I just don't have the money. I need to sacrifice from attack, but I don't want to do that. You will see in a minute how I've invested in my attack. So yeah, Schär is staying for a bit right now, and he will be staying for sure. So yeah, I'm pretty content with his points and the choice that I made. Udogi is the next guy here in line. He is the most attacking Spurs defender, and I believe their most nailed fullback. Poro and Emerson are dual rotation, most probably. We have to monitor that, but Udogi doesn't have a replacement. Perisic is injured. Ben Davies is not up to speed with Anje tactics. I don't see anyone replacing Udogi, and in my opinion, it's going to be a very good game week for Doggy. He's having a home fixture against Fulham. They didn't score 2 or more goals for the first time against Luton, but I believe that this will be restored against Fulham, and they'll score a lot of goals, and I believe Udogi will be involved in at least one. I believe the clean sheet is going to be most probably nailed for Spurs because Fulham are just not the side to score a lot of goals. I believe that Spurs will keep scoring and they will keep grinding. Now they are in the lead, and I don't see them dropping that lead position for a little bit of time for sure. Maybe Leno will stop some of the shots, but they'll get so many chances, and I believe they will score at least 2 goals. And let's hope Udogi is involved. The last guy here that we're going to discuss is Maciej Cash. He's having a home fixture against West Ham United. Aston Villa have been pretty devastating opponents at home because they are destroying them. Aston Villa are scoring for fun at home, and I believe Maciej Cash will be involved. When they play that 3-5-2, Maciej Cash is getting into so many dangerous opportunities. He scored already 2 goals. I believe he has the potential to score more, and I believe that he is going to get a lot of points. I don't see Villa keeping a clean sheet, but I see them scoring several goals, and I see Maciej Cash at least with 1 assist, so that will be delightful for me. The last guy here is Riley from Burnley. He's not getting into the starting lineup. He's not even on the bench. So if I have a spare transfer, I may replace him. But for now, he's staying there. I'm not pretty worried about him. I know that I do not have anyone to replace my defenders if something happens. But I like to play on the edge this season. As it turned out, I'm losing a lot of points by doing that. But I want to stay consistent with the strategy and see if it's going to turn around for the better. I hope it's going to be. Maybe for next season I will try a different approach, but for now I'm staying with that play on the edge. Let's be honest. I don't see any issues with the 3 defenders. They have pretty alright fixtures for the future as well. Estupiñán, when he returns, he's going to be in the starting lineup for sure, and we will need to find someone to be benched, but that's an issue for future game weeks. Now for game week 9, I'm staying with Sharo, Dog and Cash. I don't have a replacement, but I'm pretty content, and I believe that those defenders will get me a lot of points in the upcoming game week 9. Going into midfield, as you can see why I don't have money to invest in defense. Here I don't have a pretty cheap midfielder. The cheapest one is Mbeumo, and he is not a lot more cheaper than Bowen, but he is way more expensive than the likes of Neto and Gordon, who are becoming more and more popular. But those are guys that are not in my side right now. Let's focus on the guys in my side. Salah against Everton, a Merseyside derby. I am considering Salah to be my captain against Everton because Salah is pretty good this season. Everton are not. They are conceding goals in the last 7 of 8 game weeks, which is a lot of goals. Liverpool are scoring for fun. They may not keep a lot of clean sheets, but I believe they will be scoring goals. The Merseyside derby is always a hard game for Liverpool, no matter in which position Everton is in. But I believe it's time for turn for the better because they lost a lot of points before the international break, and they need to get up to par with City, Spurs, and Arsenal if they want to be in contention of winning the league or at least qualifying for Champions League. Because Villa, Brighton, Manchester United, Chelsea are going, West Ham even are going for the top 4 spot. Newcastle is another team that I forgot to mention. So a lot of teams are aiming for top 4 finish this season, and Liverpool will need to keep up the pace and stay in contention for the title and for the top 4 spots. Next up is Bowen. He's having an away fixture to Villa. Bowen is scoring a lot of goals this year away from home, so I am hoping for a goal here. I know that I own a Villa defender, but I already explained that I expect a return in attack from Cash and a return from Bowen in attack, and I will be pretty delighted. I opted for Bowen instead of Gordon, instead of Neto, instead of Diaby. Let's hope that he's going to into good positions, and he is going to score several goals for me and maybe giving some assists as well. Maybe he's going to assist Antonio or he's going to assist Ward-Prowse. We have to see. Maybe they're going to assist him. We just need to watch and see. Saka, another flagged guy in my team. That's 3 flagged guys in my side. I believe Saka will be alright. He's having an away fixture to Chelsea. I thought that he was not going to miss the City game for sure, but he did. He missed the international break as well, which means that he will be fresh and he will be back into the side, at least in my opinion. I have a striker on my bench, so if he doesn't play, the striker will come in, but we will talk about the forwards in a minute. Right now, let's focus on the current midfield. Saka against Chelsea, I believe that he will be up to speed with the form. Chelsea are not very good defensive-wise, at least in my opinion. The fixtures are just piling up for Chelsea, and Arsenal need to win because they need to keep fighting for the top spot. They have a good momentum after defeating Manchester City, and they want to keep that. So a Saka brace, because that's what I expect from him, is coming, at least in my opinion. A lot of players sold him on their wild card, so I believe that he is going to be a little bit differential pick this game week. Mbumo, another guy that had a pretty good start of the season and a pretty awful space of 4 games between the international breaks. I believe that he is going to pick up his form once again, because that's a trend that keeps happening over several seasons. Someone starts good before the international break, then he loses his form between the first and second, and then he starts chipping the points once again after the teams come back from the second international break. I believe that's going to happen with Mbumo. He's on penalties, he's ever present in the side, he's not getting substituted, he's playing as a striker in the difficult games, he's playing as a right winger in the more easier fixtures. Here is going to be a right winger, but if the games are going to be hard, he's going to become their striker. I believe a goal from him is coming sooner rather than later, so I'm keeping my faith in him. I want maybe Gordon or Neto to come into my side, but I just can't find the space. If I had to pick, I will pick maybe 10 midfielders and Haaland, but I cannot do that. I'm opting for these five different teams. All of those teams are pretty good attacking wise, and Mbumo and Brentford are not so good, but let's be honest, it's a Brentford side and he is a talismanic player on penalties. This is a gem, and I'm regretting not owning him since the start of the season. Maybe I would have sold him if I did, but for now I'm keeping faith in him. And Maddison against Fulham, as already explained with Doggy, I believe that Spurs are going to beat Fulham. Even though Leno is in goal, I believe they will get so many opportunities, Spurs, and they'll score at least 2 goals. It's a home fixture, the crowd will be behind them, they're in first place. I believe that they're going to keep up the pace and become and maybe open a gap in front of Arsenal if they struggle against Chelsea. City are going to beat Burnley, but Merseyside derby, this is a good chance for Spurs to keep up the pace and not drop any points. As already explained, I have several players that I'm missing here. No Manchester United players, but I couldn't find any space for them. There is no Aston Villa player, mostly Diaby, but I cannot find space for him as well. Gordon and Neto are way greater enablers, but if I want to opt for them, I may need to change one of my forwards to Watkins and then pick Gordon or Neto. We have to see that, but for now I'm not opting for them as well. Am I missing someone? Chelsea are having a pretty rough patch of fixtures. There is no Son, but as already explained, for no money, then no space for him. So yeah, I'm pretty delighted with my midfield. It's a little bit differential. Saka and Mbumo are becoming differential picks. Salah, Maddison are pretty highly owned. Bowen, differential to highly owned. But Saka and Mbumo may pick up the pace for me and get me a very, very good rank. I believe that midfield is good. If you agree with me or if you disagree with me, write down in the comment section what's your thoughts about that midfield. Should I make a transfer before deadline? I will be making a deadline stream as already mentioned, so there I may listen to some of your advices as well. Don't forget to join the stream. But yeah, for now I'm staying with that midfield. Now let's go and see the forwards and decide who is going to be my captain for game week 9. Last but not least is the forward line. As you can see, I'm opting for 2 players from Manchester City. As already explained, I believe that Brighton will suffer a lot from City, and I believe Alvarez and Haaland will do a lot of damage to the Seagulls. Haaland, he is going to pick up the pace, believe me. And finally, I'm going to return the armband to him. Last week it was Salah. Thank God that I did that because he had a difficult games against Arsenal. That was Haaland. Salah had a game against Brighton. They were not very good defensively. And I believe that Haaland will do the same damage against Brighton as Salah did. So he's going to get the armband. Alvarez, he is remaining into my side. I'm not opting for Højlund or Watkins or Wilson. I've mentioned those guys in my best team video in my wildcard selections, but I keep faith in Alvarez. I believe that the striking force of Manchester City will get higher and higher. This is the time of the year when they tend to keep to just put another gear in and they just start destroying the other sides. I do not believe that they will keep losing points, and I believe annihilation is coming for Brighton. Sorry for Brighton, but Manchester City will start banging the goals once again, and I want to own their strikers. Alvarez is ever present in a lot of teams still. Haaland has been replaced in some of the wildcard drafts, which was pretty surprising for me. But yeah, Alvarez, Manchester City are starting to have a rough patch of fixtures right now, but I believe that's when they strive the most. I believe that other teams do not have a lot of chances against City, and even against the harder oppositions, they can score 4 or 5 goals just for fun, and they will just destroy them. Arsenal game was a fluke. I believe they were tired because there was a pretty short lineup for them to pick from, but I believe after the break they will just come refreshed and they will start banging the goals once again. As already explained, Haaland is going to my captain. Archer is the only playing outfield player on my bench. He will replace Saka or if someone else is not playing, but let's hope that it's not getting up to that because I believe the 5 players that are on the field are the 7 attackers on the field are very good. Sorry, I have 9 players having a home fixture, only 2 are away, and they're talismanic players. It's Saka and Bowen, so I am not at least worried for that. I believe the last minute decision will be Flecken or Turner. We'll have to monitor on the press conference before because I'm recording the video before that. But let's be honest, I don't see anyone from those players being injured or something like that. They were pretty okay in the international break. Nothing too worrying was happening. So yeah, I'm believing in them. If you want to support me, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications because I'll be doing a deadline stream before Game Week 9 and don't forget to tune in for that. We will talk a lot about the picks that I have. I haven't done a deadline stream in a while, so we'll have a lot to catch on. If someone is using their wildcard, we will support them together with the chat and the guys that are present in the stream. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!